Hey, Chris Jenkins, credential member of the media, covering the Carolina Panthers for Charlotte Vibe, aka Man of the People. You have a friend in the media, which is myself. Hey, questions that you got to have regarding this team, let me know. And my job is to go ahead and get those questions answered for you directly from the players and coaches on this Carolina Panthers team. As you saw in the headline, and I'm not going to make you wait any longer, Jonathon Brooks was in practice today. He has been designated to return, as was hinted on Monday. So let's just go ahead and roll the tape and see some footage of Jonathon Brooks at practice today. There he is in practice, running around. We got a few other guys that have also been designated to return as well, and I will go through that full list here in just a second. But you know, everybody loves practice highlights, love to see these guys, whether it's uniforms, guys that are just been activated for the first time. So best place to always get it is here. Just do me that favor, hit that like button if you have not already done so. Helps other Panther fans find out about the channel, as well as subscribe. There's Jonathon Brooks again, getting the rock, moving around in the all white top, white bottoms. Some more Jonathon Brooks. Are you excited about Jonathon Brooks? Do you feel like he needs to come and contribute right away? We'll get into that some more. But again, continue to hit that like button if you're enjoying this content of Jonathon Brooks in practice. There you go. There you go. Shouts out to the Carolina Panthers for providing that footage for me to share with you guys. So let's go ahead and get into it. What's up, Chuck B? I see that you signed on. Appreciate you tuning in, checking us out this afternoon. Wednesday, October the 16th, I believe is what it is, the date-wise. I know it's Wednesday for sure. Next opponent, Washington Commanders up in D.C., 4:05 Eastern time, start time. Some previous players that are on that team. But, you know, let's go ahead. We got a lot lined up for you today to get you up to speed with this Carolina Panthers team. Let's first, as I always say, Tuesday is kind of an off day. And then there's all these transactions that happen. So the first thing I want to do is make sure that I get you up to date with those latest transactions. So did I get it up? Let me see. All right, let me finish hitting this button. Maybe I did not. And I'm trying to look around my camera to see if I hit the proper button. Come on, there we go. All right, we are now about to look at the There we go. There we go. We just needed a little second. What's going on, Knucklehead K? Are you really Knucklehead? We're going to have to talk about this Saturday, Knucklehead K. It's, you know, my day before fireside chat, if you will. It's always Saturdays at 7 Eastern. I need you to, wherever you are, to be able to be on a call Saturday and call into the show, because we have to talk about the origins of this name, Knucklehead K, how did it come about? We'll get into it, but let's go ahead and jump into these transactions. These actually took place yesterday, and I just did not have the time to go live. So, lots of activity, lots of transactions. We signed outside linebacker Jacoby Windham to the active roster. We waived outside linebacker Taron Jackson. We signed, look at this, we got another Shaq, but it ain't the one that you guys want, I'm sure. We signed Shaq Quarterman to the practice squad, and then we released wide receiver Deion Kane. So as you see, as Dan Morgan talked about, there's still going to be a lot of churn on the bottom of the roster. Obviously, they don't have what they need. The record's 1-5. The defense is just getting gashed. So they're going to keep trying to find the guys who can make the fit and make this team better. That is what we have going on. So again, those were the transactions that were yesterday. Let's go ahead and go for transactions that took place today. All right. So as you already saw there from the video, running back Jonathon Brooks got to return from the non-football injury. And in case you all are curious about all these designations, okay, so technically he did not get injured while playing football for the Carolina Panthers, but he did get injured while playing football for the University of Texas. He was already injured before he came to the team, but nevertheless, NF5 stands for non-football injury. Jonathon Brooks, as you already saw from the video, back at practice today, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in just a second. Designated to return as well, safety Sam Franklin, which we talked about Monday, that was a strong possibility that would happen. We also, let's go ahead and break these down real quick, one by one. All right, Jonathon Brooks, great to see him out there. I mean, he's a high pick. He's a second-round pick, so you definitely want to see what that guy has in store. On the field a lot later than initially thought that he would be. I was initially hoping, hey, he'd be ready for training camp. Here we are entering week 7, and he's just now opened up that 21-day window. So for everybody that's excited, yes, we have more weapons. Some are down. Some are down. There is absolutely, positively zero reason to rush and hurry up to get Jonathon Brooks back on the field. As a matter of fact, take your time. Take 20 days of the 21 days. And when you bring him back, sprinkle him here. Reason? He probably is a long-term investment. You know, if we don't sign Chuba, if we want to play that game, we got Brooks. Let him be healthy. And Chuba is everything that you want a running back to be right now. You know, Derrick Henry has for long been like top tier running back. He's putting up Derrick Henry type numbers with his average yards per rush. Darn near getting 100 yards in 4 games. I think he's definitely been over 90 plus. He's improved his pass catching skills, has an unbelievable work ethic, has unbelievable grit and not getting tackled. So anyway, I can go on about Chuba, which means Jonathon's young. He just come off this ACL that he tore at Texas. Let's give him some time. And plus, if he's good, it still isn't going to be something that makes us so incredibly dynamic because we already got a good running back, right? It's our defense that is really, really where this team needs the help. So, all right, that was my discussion on Jonathon Brooks. Now, Sam Franklin, let me put this back up there for a second so you can see it. Sam Franklin, safety, special teams ace. Special teams ace and captain, he's designated to return. He looks good, and he's going to be day by day. Now, I could see Sam coming back a little sooner than Jonathon coming back. And Sam's impact as well, I don't feel it's going to be something like substantial. And I don't want to say like, oh, I don't care these guys coming back. But I know a lot of times when guys come back, we get excited about all this change that's about to happen. Sam Franklin, like, is a special teams ace, right? That's his thing. Really good at it. Being a safety, he's been respectable at it. He's been improving. But that's not the biggest place that we need help at on the defense. Not unless he comes out there and he's suddenly Mr. Ball Hawk King and he's getting all these interceptions, which gives us more possessions. Otherwise, our biggest need, defensive line to stop the run, defensive line to get pressure on these quarterbacks. All the quarterbacks, if you want a nice Sunday fun day, currently is play against the Carolina Panthers, and you'll have a Sunday fun day because we're going to give you time to throw the ball and just kind of hang out with us for an afternoon. So, but I'm very happy. Let's be clear, very happy to see these guys coming back. Defensive tackle Jaden Crumedy, he's set to return, so that means his 21-day window opens up. Crumedy was, I forget what round he was. I want to say 5th, but you guys can certainly roast me because I'm not sure at all. Crumedy got hurt in the first preseason game. So we haven't seen much out of Crumedy. Doesn't really know what he may or may not be. So Crumedy is a guy that you could say, well, let's see how he can develop where he's at and on that defensive line, right? So if he's surprisingly, amazingly good, that would be pretty good for us, for Crumedy. And then we signed wide receiver Dan Chisnia. I guess that's a replacing Deion Kane that we let go of yesterday. This guy here, I'll leave him back up here again. Dan Chisnia. I got to get pronunciation charts from these guys. He is He's been around. He's been around since 2020, I believe. Initially drafted by the Minnesota Vikings. Let me see if I have my notes here. Yeah, by the Minnesota Vikings. He was able to make their 53-man roster, but ever since then, this guy's been on 6 teams. Yeah, and this will be his 7th team. And all the other teams that he's been on outside of Minnesota was basically as a practice squad player. I think on one of those teams, he was able to make the 53-man roster, but they did him like they do in Carolina. They needed him. They put him on the 53-man roster. Next week, he's released. So I think he's one of those guys like, let's see what we got. He's a let's see what we got kind of guy, pickup acquisition for the Carolina Panthers. So that covers all of your transactions, get you up to date with the latest 53 and practice squad and guys that are designated to return to this Carolina Panthers team. All right, well, sticking with Jonathon Brooks being the topic of conversation. Actually, before we get into that, let's go ahead and give some shout outs. Dom is always, look at Dom says, smash, like, and subscribe. Do what Dom says, please. I like Dom. Dom, I got to get you to become a member. You might be saying, well, Chris, give me some wins. I can't do that, but I can certainly continue to give you some good content to make it worth it. Knucklehead says she got me. She's a member, so she gets some special sound effects and noises. I always give special love to our members, independent media, supported 100% by you all. Man, I hope they don't play that game with Chuba. Oh, you're talking about the whole contract game? You don't have to. But the thing is with Chuba is you don't know how much money Chuba's going to want. I feel like Chuba's, and not that this is bad. I mean, these guys in this league, you don't know how long you're going to be in this league, so you got to get the money when you can. I certainly feel like he's going to be like a pay me guy, and knowing that each week that's his opportunity to put up some crazy numbers. And if he's like got Derrick Henry type stats at the end of the year, he's certainly younger than Derrick Henry. Yeah, he should demand pay me. Now, of course, you never know what this running back market's going to look like. It's been sliding, but it would be great to have 2 good running backs back there. It just extends the miles of Chuba Hubbard and gives you another option for when he is out of miles and the tread is gone and you need to get Brooks some more time. So let's continue to rock through there. And here we go. What do we got here? We got a Dixon Yass. I'm excited for Brooks, but I think they ease him in the offense slowly. No need to rush. We ain't winning nothing. I think a little bit beyond the we ain't winning nothing is the fact that, again, what more would you want out of Chuba Hubbard and a running back right now to say we're good, we can ease this guy in? So Dave Canales today spoke with the media, and he touched on how Brooks looked today in practice. Uh-oh.
Other than in a couple situations.
That is the wrong video. That is the wrong video. Here we go. I'll do it. Hold on. Here we go. Didn't have it.
He looked great. He took a couple of snaps, went through the individual period, so it was good to have him out there, see him running around, something that we certainly have been excited about. Just get him out there, and we'll make sure we do the right thing for Jonathon first and foremost. And then from there, we'll just kind of take it, a week at a time and see where he's able to help us.
So in case you missed it, I'm going to play it one more time because he said something very important.
He looked great. He took a couple of snaps, went through the individual period, so it was good to have him out there, see him running around, something that we certainly have been excited about. Just get him out there, and we'll make sure we do the right thing for Jonathon first and foremost. And then from there, we'll just kind of take it, a week at a time.
So I'll cut it. The important thing, we're going to do the right thing for Jonathon first and foremost. So the right thing is patience. Let's just let it ride out and see where we go. Let's go ahead and, I don't think I did the injury report, right? No, I did not do the injury report. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to finish going through some of the discussion here. I'm going to play one more clip from Canales, and then I'm going to go to the injury report. And a new thing I've been doing, I think you guys may like it, just kind of touching on some news that's been happening around the league and other miscellaneous stuff that I think you guys may be interested in. Big favor, hit that like button while you're still watching. I need it. I need it. You know, we hadn't had some super chats recently either. So, you know, super chat. Always welcome, always needed. All right, let's continue to work through this. We're taking our time with Jonathon Brooks. All right, Dave Canales, quarterback whisperer, the offensive-minded head coach. His team, in my opinion, we're doing better than last year. The record doesn't scream it, but it just seems like things are in place a lot better. Obviously, the big thing is that defense, right? This defense, what do you do? Like, you can't just go out there and easily get some pass rushers, obviously. And so they're doing the next best thing they can. They're telling their scouts each week, we need guys at these positions to see who can help us out and be a fit to get us through this season. Meanwhile, the defense is just giving up bunches and bunches of points, leading the league in points given up. So Canales talked about how that may and has been affecting his play calling with this unit.
Other than in a couple situations, you know, where we can be a little bit more aggressive, for the most part, we got to just stay on schedule, and we have to just stay balanced the way that we want to play our style of football. My investment is, as we continue to go in this season, that we don't shortchange the core of our systems by trying to be something that we're not. You know, there's certainly a time in games where you got to go, but we want to stay balanced as long as possible so we can get those runs called, we can get those play actions called, the boot game, the screen game, all those things that we're counting on long term. We have to be able to just be really disciplined in our commitment to our system and our core on both sides, really in all phases.
And then defense.
So I like that. I can appreciate that, right? So could he call the game differently? I mean, possibly, but do you have the tools to call the game differently? Maybe you don't. So, you know, there's a little bit of a balance. Yeah, why throw the ball on every possession to try to go deep if we're having some other potential issues with that from being able to be successful in doing that? So he's, you know, I appreciate what he says there and trying to find a balance and keeping their identity and just being ourselves, because that's what he wants to establish is who the Carolina Panthers are. Being yourself as much as you can before the game then gets to a point where now you absolutely have to. I think that Dave has done a good job with, he's not done a perfect job, but I think he's done a good job with being aggressive. Also knowing that his defense may have some weak points. He's made many fourth down attempts. He's done a fake punt. So he's done a lot of things, I think, knowing that his defense has some holes bigger than he probably would like to as a first-year coach. But he is just making the best out of it that he can. So let's go ahead and give a big old shout out to
Super Chat.
Knucklehead K. I tell you what, we're gonna let's see. Do I have any other sound effects that I could play for you? I don't. I need to get some more sound effects. So we'll just play this one more time.
Super Chat.
Super chats. Hey, you are a integral part of this company. I appreciate you so much for the support. Helps. So let me go ahead and read this. Do you mind explaining the cap a little? Does the NFL control how much we can spend? I feel like Tepper owes this one to the fans. Keep Chuba here. So, yes, the NFL does control how much we spend each year based on revenues, whether it's, you know, revenues from the teams, revenues from advertising, and all these things that with the money coming into the league, they say, all right, here's how much each team can spend. I forget what the current cap is, but they put that number out there. And so each team has that number. Now, you can, if you want to, say, yeah, so what? I'm just going to say $300 million. So what? We can spend $300 million on contracts each year. I really want these guys. I'm going to spend over. They can spend over, but it's up to the owner to decide if they want to spend over or not. So that's the short of it. Let me know if that was good enough for you, Knucklehead K. If you want me to go into more depth, I can schedule to do so on Saturday. But appreciate the support tremendously. We've met, so you know how much I really appreciate it and how much it helps. So thank you very much. Let's go ahead and bounce into these injuries. And we got so many, again. We have so many injuries that And look, I don't have any Bears water. I don't know if you guys saw pregame Sunday. I had some water that was labeled Bears because I grabbed some when I was in the press box. And Rashad from Panther Nation Podcast, I probably need to screenshot it and put that out on Twitter and have some fun with it. But we just got to get over the signage today. So 1 second. We got an injury report that's so long, I have to screenshot it and provide it into 2 pages instead of my normal graphic that I show. So here we go. Let's rock through it. First page of injuries. Why, oh, why do we continue? Here we go. I think that's appropriate right now. Claudin Sherrillis, hamstring, did not practice. Troy Hill and Chuba Hubbard both got rest. Josie Jewell still dealing with his hamstring/groin injury. So he's been out. They never put him on IR, so obviously that would mean they don't think it's going to be something that takes 4 weeks, but certainly we're stacking up some weeks here now with Josie Jewell. We also have Deontay Johnson with the ankle. He did not practice. So of course, if you got your main productive guys, you're going to be protecting them. So Chuba, first year getting these DNPs to get some rest. Deontay Johnson, he got some early this year, and I would assume if he is banged up, you're going to give him some rest, which you should. He's your guy. You got Taylor Moton, who's dealing with that elbow. He did not practice today. So Canales talked about these injuries a little bit further. This is just Chris Jenkins reading into it. I feel like Moton may miss another week. He said he didn't know day by day, but it to me sounds like he wants him back, but feels like he might miss another week. And I kind of feel like this is his first time breaking the streak, not playing, and he's an integral part. So let's just make sure that he heals, because he's a guy that already was getting plenty of vet days each week. If he needs an extra week and he'll be solid for the latter part of the season, give him that time. We got John Radigan, had an illness, so he did not practice. And then we had Ashawn Robinson, did not practice with the knee. Jonathon Brooks, we talked about, he was limited in practice. Jadeveon Clowney, he was limited in practice with his shoulder and actually was changed to a did not practice, Jadeveon Clowney. So I guess there's some technicality about how things have to be reported. But Jadeveon Clowney, since that was put out there, has been updated to a did not practice for today. Let's go to the second page of injuries. Wide receiver David Moore, limited in practice with a knee. LeBron Ray, limited in practice with the ankle and knee. Andrew Rain with that concussion, limited in practice. So he's making progress. I feel like Andrew's been out for 2 weeks, so this is going on 3 for him. Nick Scott with a hamstring, limited in practice. Tommy Tremble with that concussion, limited in practice. He said Tommy's doing well. Can't for sure say. I think he said that Tommy was allowed to basically run around today, but certainly no contact, certainly hasn't been cleared. So some good steps for Tommy out there, making some progress. Dane Jackson, Jaden Crumedy, Sam Franklin. These guys are listed on the injury report because they were previously on the designated to return. They haven't been cleared yet, so they give statuses about those guys. Dane, Jaden, and Sam were all full participants in practice today. Did you get all of that? If you didn't, YouTube does allow you to rewind and go back and watch it to get those injury reports. Man, a lot. So it's unfortunate. I like to be a perspective giver. Keep that in mind for this game coming up about all those injuries that you just saw. And, celebrate the small moments. Unfortunately, that is what I have to give you right now, that kind of conversation. Let's go ahead and talk about some other things that have happened around the league before I get out of here that I feel like you may want to know about. What did I have here for you? I want to make sure I don't forget anything. All right, so around the league, wide receiver Devontae Adams previously with the Las Vegas Raiders, our only victory that we had. Really nice stadium. So if you get a chance to go out to Vegas and attend the game, I encourage you to do so. Really cool atmosphere out there. But Davante Adams has now been reunited with Aaron Rodgers. A dynamic duo, one of the top duos in the league in recent, outside of, I think, Julio Jones and, I can see his face, Matt Ryan in Atlanta. These two are pretty dynamic. So they were reunited, are reunited. Davante Adams is with the Jets. So the Jets, man, they seem to be going all in, right? Yeah. So another wide receiver moved yesterday. Buffalo Bills acquired Amari Cooper from the Cleveland Browns. So Cleveland has Deshaun Watson. Cleveland is, I think, 1-5 as well. But man, they got some work to do. So they got Amari Cooper out. Maybe this is also the Buffalo Bills version of, hey, we got some windows that are closing. Let's try to win. So some big moves there with the wide receivers yesterday in the NFL. And then I haven't had a chance to hear him, as you may can understand why. I'm also working at the same time that he's working. Tom Brady, who gets some luxuries in life, to say the least, started his first year of his 10-year, $375 million contract broadcasting. And I've heard that he hasn't been such the quick success as a Romo or a Greg Olsen. Well, he's now a part owner of the Las Vegas Raiders, who recently let Davante Adams go to the New York Jets. He has been approved as a minority owner, and it means that with that, they gave him lots and lots of restrictions that makes one wonder how well is he going to be at his job, because he can't go to practice for these other teams. He can't go into production meetings. And the production meetings are, I don't get production meetings. They're huge. They are times where the team that's covering, broadcast team that's covering the game, gets to meet with coaches and some players one-on-one. And during that time, it's like they get really good information, really good insight about the game plan, the players, just all this good information, which helps them do their broadcast. He can't be a part of it. I'm not going to go down the whole list, but he just has so many restrictions on how he can broadcast. You just wonder how he's going to be able to do his job. You wonder how Fox is going to keep him. Will Fox fire? I don't know. I'm just a peon. I'll just wait and see how it plays out. I won't be able to benefit from any of it. So there you have it. And last but not least, Terrace Marshall, who was released by the Carolina Panthers when they had to make their initial 53-man roster cut down, had been picked up by the San Francisco 49ers. He was on their practice squad. And then unfortunately, I say unfortunately because I want all these guys to succeed, but unfortunately, Terrace Marshall has been released from the practice squad of the San Francisco 49ers. So that is your Around the League news. We'll continue to broadcast for you all daily. We'll be back at it tomorrow, so be sure to set those notifications, subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. Chris Jenkins reporting for Charlotte Vibe.